the word yoga means union. Yeah, so it's the union between your body and your mind. So through work in the asanas, the postures, you then are able to transform your mind completely.
Hey, beautiful souls! Welcome to our SoulFam Podcast, where I interview space holders from all over the world. I am your host. My name is Karolina, and I am the Connection Catalyst. I help spiritual entrepreneurs experience deeper connection with themselves, with others, and with the universe. Today on the show, we have Paula, a yoga teacher, a massage therapist, and a meditation guide. Welcome to the show, Paula. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
I'm super excited as well. I'm so looking forward to hearing all about your spiritual and healing journey and to share with the world how you have helped yourself, in these ways that I know that you're doing amazing things, and I know that you're a Reiki healer as well. So I would love to know, maybe first for our listeners, how did your spiritual and self-development journey has started?
So I was actually trying to look up, because it all started with yoga at first, and I was trying to look up when I actually started yoga because I couldn't remember. It's just been, at first very like on and off. I was always very interested in yoga, and I've always was kind of drawn to it and fascinated by it. But I think I didn't start practicing until 2014, I think, and it was all YouTube videos at first. I found this channel, you probably all heard of it anyway, Yoga with Adrian. So this is the first person I came across who I actually enjoyed practicing yoga with. So she used to do, I think she still does, I think every January she releases like a 30-day yoga journey kind of thing, where every day she releases one yoga video. And this is, I think this is the first thing that I've ever done that was kind of like a focus on yoga, where I would actually practice for a prolonged period of time. It didn't take me 30 days, it took me a lot longer than this. But still, for me, that was, at the time, that was really like, oh my god, I'm doing something that is kind of committing to something. So I did this at first, and then I kind of forgot about it a little bit, then came back to it, and it would last for a few years. And then I started practicing regularly maybe for 4 years ago, where I really got into it. And I think almost every day I was practicing yoga at the time. And then one day I remember lying down on the mat, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is absolutely amazing. Like, this is all I want to do. Like, this feels so good. And that was when I decided to train as a yoga teacher, because I thought, if I can feel this amazing, then other people can too. And I want to share this with other people and bring that feeling to them. So that was about 3 years ago. And then last year, no, I keep thinking it's still 2021. So in 2020 I completed my yoga teacher training. So I went away for a month to Greece, where I trained with the qualified, really really knowledgeable yoga teachers, who then showed me how to do it correctly. But that's the thing with yoga. A lot of people think that it's only the physical practice of it. People think of yoga in terms of what they can see. Yeah, so yoga is postures, bending yourselves, nice shapes, photos on Instagram, things like that.
Photos on Instagram. That's
Yeah,
what
that's it.
yoga
Yeah,
is.
that's what yoga is.
Naked
A tree,
yogis in different
tree pose
postures.
on the tree pose on the beach, or like handstands and things like that. But it's so much more to it. There is so much more to yoga, and once you start, so that was kind of the beginning. Yeah, yoga was like kind of the first step of then my further spiritual journey, because I then realized, okay, what is it that makes me feel this way about yoga? And then kind of exploring it a little bit more, like, what is it about it that has such power? And then when you start actually reading the yoga texts, or when you find a teacher who kind of embraces the all, like, because yoga is the whole philosophy, like, it's been it's been around for thousands of years. It originates in India, and then for Indian people, this is kind of like a way of life. They don't think of yoga as, just the postures. This is actually one of many elements of it. Um, so, when you start to think about what more there is to yoga, and start exploring why is it making you feel so good, then you just kind of, start exploring different bits, and then you come across meditation, then you come across the breath work, and then you realize it's all connected, it all comes together so nicely, and yeah, that's the way it works.
Wow, that's cool. And
Yeah.
I've heard many people that have started their spiritual journey with yoga, because then it brings you this whole philosophy, this whole new way of being. So what were the benefits of yoga that you felt in your life that you could share with the world? Because I know that, I hated yoga before Sylvia, our common friend, did the instructor training, and then I started doing it regularly. At first I was like, oh my God, Sylvia, why are you making me do this? Like, come on, I hate this. I don't want to do this. But then when I started doing it like 3 times a week, because we lived together, so then I almost didn't have a choice. It was like the class is right there in my living room, so I might as well join it, right? So then when I started doing it more regularly, and I started actually knowing the asanas and knowing how to place my body and feeling the benefits, and more and more, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And now, fast forward 1 year, I'm freaking addicted to yoga. Like, I have to do it at least twice a week, at least, or 3 times, to feel like, yeah, I'm working on myself, and it's just bringing me so much so many amazing vibes. And whenever I have a feeling that is stored in my body, and I feel like, oh, I want to do something about it, and when I set an intention before yoga to release this feeling, it's always working for me. It's always like, just, I don't know, opening up the channels to release the feeling. So for me, it's really an amazing thing how from a yoga hater, I became a yoga lover, yoga
Yes,
addict,
you've
yoga
been,
junkie.
we pulled you to the yoga side. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. A lot of people think this way, actually. Oh my God, yoga is so boring. Like, why people do it? They come to yoga class and they're like, oh my God, like, I never want to do this again anymore. But actually, when you start, as you said, when you start doing it regularly, um, you just start noticing things about yourself, like yoga. The word yoga means union. Yeah, so it's the union between your body and your mind. So through working the asanas, the postures, you then are able to transform your mind completely. So when you first let's say you go into the pose that you've never done before in your life, and your body is like, what the hell is going on? Like, I don't understand. But then the next day you do the pose, and then you're like, okay, this maybe got a bit easier. Like, I start to realize what's going on in my body. Then the next time you do it, you're like, okay, I can feel like my leg working right here. I can feel opening maybe in my shoulder. There's something pulling me like this side maybe. And then you kind of notice that your body is not just like a bunch of flesh that only serves you a purpose of walking to work, or like doing things. But then you realize there's so many things about it that so on a purely physical level, yoga will help you, let's say, relax the muscles, yeah, or strengthen the muscles, yeah, because we have poses, different styles of yoga as well. So we have poses that will be more maybe challenging, maybe will require a little bit more strength to hold them, and then we have some that will be purely stretching, yeah, or sometimes both. Sometimes we have the opposite forces working, and when you start noticing it, when you find a teacher that can guide you through it and will tell you where exactly you should be paying attention to in your body while doing this pose, then you'll be like, oh my God, this is actually amazing. And then you lie down after the practice, let's say an hour practice, and you lie down in shavasana, the last pose, and then you're like, oh my God, like people say, I could sleep there, like this is just so relaxed, and they could sleep almost. And that's the thing, like, so on the physical level, yeah, we strengthen, we stretch the muscles, but then on the mind level, because you focus so much on it, you have to pay attention through the whole class. Otherwise, you start falling, you start wobbling, you won't be able to do it. So you have to really concentrate on it to then be able to do it. And that takes your minds off other things. Yeah. So you don't think about, your problems, your struggles, everything else. You just focus for this, let's say, 1 hour class. You only focus on your body. And that's just amazing because, it kind of switches you off for a little bit. Yeah. It's like a meditation. Your concentration is somewhere else, not on, all those negative things going on everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So then that brings that feeling of relaxation. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
also we have the breath. Yeah. Every yoga practice is focused around the breath. So it's not really the physical, the poses that we do. It's the breath that guides us through the poses, because how we make the muscles stretch. Yeah. How do we gain the flexibility? Through the breath. That's the main thing that works for it. So if you're ever in a pose and you're like, oh my God, this is so painful, I can't do it, I have to get out of it. The deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you get. And this is, again, purely physical. Your nervous system is calmed down by you breathing deeper. Yeah, you have this, instead of entering your flight or fight response, where you tense your muscles, you stress, you heart rate speeds up, you start breathing faster. When you start slowing down your breathing, your nervous system is like, okay, we're safe, everything's fine, we can relax. Yeah. And instead of sending the adrenaline to your body, it will send the endorphins, the dopamine, yeah, the feel good hormones. So that's how it works on the physical level. But also, again, through this concentration on your breath, this is like a basic meditation practice. Yeah, just focusing on the breath. You don't think about anything else. You think of, not falling. You hold the person, you're like, I need to keep my balance, I need to keep breathing, otherwise I'll just collapse. Yeah. And that'll be it. This is what yoga is. So breathing, meditation, physical practice, relaxation is just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it combines so many things at the same time, right? Because really, you breathe, you focus, you quiet your mind of all these random things coming in, random thoughts. And also, yeah, for me, it feels also the stretch feels like opening up the channels of the energy, opening up the meridians or the nadis, as people call it. Because seriously, like if I have something, stored in me and I suddenly open it up, then it's gonna like the energy is gonna go out. So then we
Yeah.
can really heal through yoga, like on an emotional level, I found, because I'm with my work, I'm all about emotions and how to work with them and how to release them and everything. So for me, it's really one of the most important things that people don't know about yoga, that of course it's calming to your nervous system, but you can also release emotions, sometimes even without having to feel them, because it's just the energy. And sometimes I found that some people even cry or are getting angry during a yoga class
Yes.
because these
Yes.
emotions are coming up, and
That's
then they
happening.
need
Yeah.
to heal it, right? So
That is
um
true.
yeah, so
Yeah.
for me
So
this
definitely.
emotional healing is so crucial as well in this way.
Yeah, because when we experience stress or when we, experience something negative, we almost they also causes a physical response. So when we stress, we often, like tense our shoulders, or or close the fist, or like for me it's always the hips. Like my hips get so tense for some reason. And then during the yoga practice, during the deeper breathing, the stretching poses, once the muscle relaxes, the energy can't be storing it anymore. So it all kind of comes out, like flushes out. And I had this before when, the hip stretch will be like, my eyes tearing up, or like, and I don't know why, but it's just something, from the past that I was holding that then can come out and I no longer have it. And that's, again, also bringing this feeling of, happiness and relaxation at the end of the yoga practice, because you're no longer holding the thing that was stressing you before.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, how often do you recommend to do yoga for someone that is just starting? Like, because I know that you can sometimes overwork yourself. So, how would you say where to start and how to grow if someone wants to start more regular practice?
So I would say it depends on the level of your fitness already. So if you've never done any yoga before, if you're not very active, you don't do any exercises, um, outside of your normal life, then I would suggest maybe finding a local teacher or a yoga studio. Find a beginner's class where they will guide you through the safety of it first and foremost, because that's I as I said, I started practicing yoga with YouTube at first, and then when I actually made the actual personal studio class, it turned out I was doing the downward dog wrong for all those years. Just to prevent injury and just to prevent, starting on the wrong foot, doing things wrong, because it's important. Like, it's not only about the shape, but it's about the way that we move our body in a safe way. So we don't want to get hurt while doing it. So I would recommend maybe finding a good teacher first and the beginner's class, and then once a week, and then build it up slowly. So you'll feel in time you should start feeling stronger, you should start feeling more flexible, you should start feeling like, okay, I can push my body a little bit more. So unless you are maybe more active, so let's say you go to the gym or you swim or you do other activities, and you can kind of take a little bit more, then maybe try other type of classes. So we have different styles of yoga. So let's say vinyasa yoga, that style that I teach. This is the more kind of energetic, a bit faster pace. Maybe we're moving, we're breathing a lot, and it's in the one practice you'll get maybe more poses than you would have in the beginner's class or different styles of yoga. Then we have the hatha yoga, which is slower pace, and it's more building the foundations of the poses and the breathing. So hatha for beginners, probably the best. Then once you feel more comfortable, try vinyasa. Then if you are mostly focused on the stretching, so let's say you do a lot of strength exercises or the physical activity, and you need to release all of this at the end of the day, yin yoga is the best. Honestly, it's before bed. This is the best way you can. If you can't sleep, I recommend trying yin yoga before bed. You'll sleep like a baby. You just it will calm you down, and I had this before when I was like halfway through the practice. Oh God, I'm just gonna stop and just take a nap, because this feels so good. So you have all of this. So just or I know, like, this is January now, so I don't know when this is going to come out, but a lot
Soon.
of studios, a lot of studios have like offers for January, the new year, new me stuff. All kind of jump on it, and they're like, try all of our classes, see which one you like best, and then you can kind of make it your regular practice. But I'd recommend at least once a week to start with, and then kind of build up. And there is, like, you can't do too much yoga if you're really keen, but then you have to be careful not to hurt yourself. So the idea is, we want to feel the stretch, we want to feel the muscles working, but we don't want to feel any pain. If we feel pain during the practice, that means we're doing it wrong. So there's something to be corrected.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. I know that for me, the journey has started with vinyasa, but I've tried samin, and actually, even yesterday, I've done kundalini yoga, which is a completely different practice.
Yes,
and I
it's
was like,
completely different.
I was just like, oh my god, it's. I mean, I've tried it before, but for me, it was like doing some mantras and some like simple movements and very like slow paced yoga. Actually, after the class, and there was also some kind of crystal ball music meditation or something. But after the class, I was so energized. I felt so good, and I was like, wow, these mantras and these simple movements of the body actually helped me massively. Because for me, vinyasa is the style, because I like to be in energy, full energy, and we're moving and we're sweating and we're doing things, but actually balancing all these different types and actually checking all of it, and then choosing something for yourself, or maybe even switching between one and the other depending on what you need. Because as you said, the yin is so calming, and it's so probably very good for insomnia then, if someone is struggling to sleep. And I've been having a little bit of stress recently as well with all my projects coming up, and I was thinking like, what should I do to fall asleep faster? And I was thinking, yeah, maybe I should read a book. But now I have yin yoga and reading a book as my in my toolbox, so I'm gonna try it out next time. So thanks for sharing
Yes,
that.
that's
It's really
okay.
it's really cool. I love
So
it.
there is one way, another way that always helps. Like for me, it works 100% of the time. There is a practice called Yoga Nidra, which isn't actually any physical practice. It's just a meditation. You lie down with your eyes closed. You can find a lot of practices on YouTube. You just type in Yoga Nidra, and it sends me to sleep 100% of the time. You're not really supposed to sleep during Yoga Nidra. You're supposed to go through the whole, I think it's like a half an hour or hour long, depends. You're supposed to listen to the whole thing and then fall asleep. But for me, the first 5 minutes, I'm like, out. No, I'm not, which isn't really, it's not how you're supposed to do it. But if you can't sleep, this is the best way. I recommend it 100%.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes we are not supposed to do something, but it's a tool to use however we want to. So that's
exactly.
perfect, right? And if we need it if we know that it works for us, so the most important is actually to know what works for you, right? To try all these different things, this whole range of tools and methods and meditations and stuff, so that then okay, this works like that for me, so I'm going to use it then. And that's what I always say to all the people I work with, my clients or friends, that I cannot tell you what is best for you, but I can tell you what I've tried, and then you can check it out if it works for you as well. Because, for example, I fall asleep during breath work very often, and I know that you're not supposed to, but it's funny because I have so much energy when I do breath work, but then at some point it just kind of makes me, I don't know, fall asleep. And I trust that it's good for me and for my body, and my soul just chooses to sleep at the time. Maybe something is going on higher levels of my of my soul and my consciousness, so I don't really fight it, I'm just accepting it. But for some people, breathwork could release their childhood traumas or release some emotions, and everyone has their own methods of healing. That's why we are speaking to all these different healers and coaches on this podcast, to get to know what they have tried and what was the most effective for them, so that then we can everyone can choose for themselves, of all the listeners. So yeah, and I wanted to ask, what is the kind of meditation that you do for yourself that was the most beneficial for you specifically?
So I like guided meditations. That's what I started with. Play some. Look for. There's so many different types. You can type in meditation for, I don't know, stress. Meditation for release emotions. Meditation for whatever. All the problems you can have. There is a meditation for it on YouTube. I would often start with that. And that kind of, they can be very short, even 15-20 minutes, but I find taking that time out of your day and just stopping and just listening to it, listen to someone else speak and trying to focus on what they're telling you, and then kind of feeling it, because it's so often focused on feeling things. Yeah, again, as you said, releasing the emotion. Yeah, feeling where is it located in your body, and then kind of letting it go. That's what helps us heal. Yeah, we don't hold the stuff anymore. We can kind of move on and make space for something else. Yeah. So I like to do that often when I don't have time. But when I have a little bit more time, I like to do a chakra meditation, where I just kind of concentrate on each chakra separately, starting obviously from the bottom to the top. Kind of, again, feeling the chakras instead of, rather than just thinking about it. I really try to feel into the chakras, and then once I'm satisfied with this one is working as it should be working, then I move on to the next one. And again, I often find about halfway through I fall asleep. Because I often do it before bed, when I can't sleep. That's, I know it works for me to, it helps me fall asleep. And when I can't sleep, I start with my root chakra, and I feel it, and it's just because it works on a, like, your safety level, and then you start relaxing immediately. And then
Hmm.
by the time I move to heart, I'm like fast asleep.
Yeah, I know
Often.
exactly what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah,
When
yeah.
I
But
meditate on chakras, yeah, it relaxes me as well very much. And I also wrote my own chakra meditation, but for me, it's more about visualization plus feeling the feelings that are there that are opening it up and radiating, for example, safety and pleasure and joy and all these things. So I also love chakra meditation. I love it so much that I was running events and showing it to people what I found with myself. And I really am a big promoter of this kind of meditation because I also feel like it's healing. It's very healing for us to do this, because I even recorded YouTube videos about it. I'm in the process of talking about each chakra and how it corresponds to emotions, because I believe that if we can just really release all these blocking emotions and accept them, and also create and radiate these positive feelings, we bring health, because all these organs that are linked to the chakra are then energized more, because more vital force is flowing through them. So it's actually so healing to work on your chakras that people should know about it and should really get into that and see how it works for them. Because once we have this flow of energy through all the chakras, we feel more empowered, more energized, more healthy. And also, I was even saying in one of the videos that this is what enlightenment means, right? Becoming light, becoming more and more light, so more and more conscious, you can say. But also, all these chakras, actually, if you put them together, they are rainbow, they are white light. So if you open them all up, you don't have any blocks, then you become this white light, this enlightened person, literally with
Exactly.
light,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Oh,
freaking
that
love.
sounds so nice. I love the idea of, just becoming the white light. Yeah, because as you said, so that brings us to yoga back again, because chakra and yoga are linked again. So you have yoga poses that work on separate chakras. So you can build your practice again, just focused on the root chakra, or just focus on the heart chakra, and kind of opening the space. And again, this idea of radiating the light and letting it flow. That's again yoga. That's something that yoga can help you with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also Reiki can help you for that, right? Because
Yes.
you're a Reiki healer as well. So I would love to talk about Reiki. I have 2 levels of Reiki as well, but I found that for me, I started actually healing with energy before I even did the course, and it's actually a funny story, because on my first level Reiki course, they were talking about Usui. Right, the one who found the Reiki, who was a creator, or rather channeler, for Reiki. And they told me on the workshop that, oh, because he was fasting for like, I think 40 days or however many days, and then he got this energy from the source, and then he got the message that he should spread it and teach other people. And I was like, oh my God, I was fasting. And after the 4th day of dry fast, I really felt this energy from my crown coming into my body. And since then, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or so, I started just manipulating this energy and healing already then. And then I figured, okay, this was probably Reiki already. I just didn't know that it's called
Yeah.
like that. And everyone calls it
Yeah.
different things anyway.
Exactly. You have different systems with different names and different rules, but then it's all the same. Like you just have to find the way that
Yeah.
works for you. Yeah.
It's just life
Yes.
force energy, right? It's prana, it's Reiki, whatever you want to call it. But I want to really touch upon this topic, because I know that it can be really powerful to work with Reiki for people. So I wanted to ask you, what are your experiences when it comes to people? Like, how did they react to Reiki? Can you give some examples of how Reiki has helped some people, or how does it work for the people maybe who don't know what it is and how it works?
So I've not done that much Reiki actually, because when I like as similar to you, for me, I realized that I had that power of healing, but before I done the Reiki course, and for me, it's kind of channeled through my hands. Yeah. So when I feel for example, pain, yeah, like stomach pain or something, I'll just put my hands on the belly and just kind of try to focus on it, and kind of be grateful, as we do with affirmations. I'm just being grateful for it to be healing already. Yeah. And then, in time, the pain will go away. And that's how I realized, okay, maybe there's something, going on here. So I did the Reiki course with someone who actually comes from the lineage of the, oh, what was his name? the channeler of Reiki, the original creator. So he was from Japan, and I did the course with him here in Nottingham, and he comes in that kind of direct line. So he kind of thought about how to channel that Reiki energy. So how to, focus, how to bring it up so that you can, kind of transfer it to other people. But then I also found that the system of Reiki is very limiting. Like I found that it was fun to do. It was obviously very beneficial for me and for people I practiced on too, because I mostly used it for like physical pains. I didn't try to heal any like emotional pain with it or anything like that. But for physical pain, it was great. It was amazing. But then all those rules about like the things I don't I like to do kind of things intuitively, and
Mm-hmm.
things that work for me, this particular moment, and to kind of think that I will have to do something every day just because it's the rule of doing it. And like Reiki has the affirmations that you're supposed to say every day, and you have to perform Reiki on yourself regularly, because then it kind of keeps it in good shape. But I just found that I can use it whenever I want. I don't have to, prepare myself for it. Like, obviously, you want to be grounded and you want to be focused and you don't want to, do any harm to other person. But um, I found that that Japanese Reiki line is very judgmental about everything else, and they feel like Reiki is the only way to do it, and everything else is just a scam that people are trying to I don't know, hurt you or something. And I feel that it's not true. There's so many, as we said before, there's so many ways that we can take from. There's so many systems that we can use and then make it our own, and something that helps us personally, instead of following just one line of work, just this Reiki system because this person taught me this and this is how it should be. Now we have to kind of use our own personal experience and just kind of take a little bit of each and make it our own thing. Yeah, so that's like,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying this to bring Reiki down. I love Reiki and I still do it on myself when I need it, but I just feel like as I said, there's other ways of healing yourself as well. You just have to find the right one that works for you.
Absolutely. And I think that maybe you have had experiences with people who are very rigid about it, because when I did my Reiki course, I mean, of course, it's good to do meditation every day. It's good to be with this energy every day, but it wasn't so rigid. But I understand that it might be for some people like the only way, and this is rigid and you need to do this. And so, I don't vibe with this energy in any method. Like, you have to do this. No, you don't
Yeah.
have to do anything. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
if you want to practice it more, if you want to become better at it, then you can do this and that. But it's not like you must, right? But I understand where you're coming from. And as I said before, yeah, try everything and then see what works for you. Because as you and me as well, I also heal intuitively, and I have the Reiki course, but I also rarely use the symbols and the mantras that are there, because I just feel, okay, this is what I need to do now, and this is the energy. And honestly, if you have an intention of working for the highest good and health for the person or for yourself, then you cannot harm yourself with any energy that you're bringing in.
Exactly.
If
Yeah.
you just set the energy in the direction, and intention is the direction of energy. If you just set the good intention beforehand, then there is no way you're going to harm anyone, and you can just be a pure channel of divine energy or of love to the other person or to yourself. And then, because of this intention, you just cannot do anything bad or wrong, right? Because this was my fear. I remember, a few years ago when I was working with energy, like, oh, what if I harm someone, or what if I have some energy within me that can cause someone some problems? But then I realized, no, it's just about how I direct it. So if I
Yeah.
have this intention beforehand, then nothing can go wrong. And I think it's, for some people, it's important to know, because it's otherwise we are based on fear, right? And we want to be
Yes.
based on
Yeah.
love, not on fear. So
Exactly.
let's just be
Exactly.
loving. Let's just have a loving energy and loving intention to help this person, to love this person, or ourselves if we do it on ourselves, and to just bring the highest good and health. And then everything is just smooth, no matter what method you are going to use, right? So yeah,
Exactly what I feel. Yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah, I loved working intuitively as well, because sometimes I think that for some people it's good to have methods and specific steps to follow, because for some, for example, if when I started developing spiritually, my logical mind was very on. So for me to have a step by step process, it was actually way easier to follow something. So I think that for some people, having this system and these mantras every day and meditations and whatever is actually very good, because then they can, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? And they can just kind of wrap their mind around it and then do it, and then explore maybe something more. But
Exactly.
right now when we know all these different methods and we can pull different cards on the table, maybe we're not so like connected to one way or one method. But I think that it could be helpful for someone who is maybe just starting, or doesn't know which direction to go, and then when they have step by step process, it's just way easier for some people, I think. So it could be a good way to start working with energy. But again, there are so many different modalities and methods that everyone can just choose something for themselves and be happy about it. um
Yes,
and
I
do
agree,
you
and definitely, yeah.
yeah,
So
you go.
because I did my Reiki course in a group setting, so there were I think four of us in the room, and then the teacher. So it was a really good way to feel energy. So for someone who never have actually experienced that, and they're just curious about how to help yourselves and how to help other people, um, to kind of bring up that group energy is kind of intensified. So there were people in that room who never actually experienced that, but then they were like, oh my god, I felt tingling in my palms, or I held, when you held your palms over my head, I could feel it, like I could feel the warmth, the energy flowing through it. So that's a good way of experiencing it. So I would recommend, if you are to do something like this, maybe find a group of people and kind of share that with them, because that's I would say the easiest way to experience it first.
Yeah, and the energy of the group is so powerful. It's just so healing when you do things in group settings. That's why we are doing this podcast, so that we can bring all these people together, and then afterwards we're gonna launch the app for conscious people, so that everyone can come together or meditate at the same time. And that's our intention for that. So yeah, I totally vibe with that. And do you sometimes use energy healing with your massage as well?
I do, yes. So because again, massage is manipulation of the muscles, manipulation of that stuck energy that's there, that's causing us the pain, that's causing us the discomfort, that's causing us the stress. um so when we actually, again, on a physical level, it flushes out the toxins, it increases the blood flow and the oxygen, and promotes the healing of the cells themselves. So just because we remove all the toxins and bring the fresh blood and the fresh food to the cells, that's kind of physical level healing. But again, moving through the stuck energy, releasing the stress and the tension from the muscles, releasing that all that that doesn't serve us anymore, just let it go, let it all flow away. But then I also use the affirmations often when I do the massage. So I do like simple things, like you can even do it every day on yourself, like, oh, I'm thankful for the universe that this person is healing, yeah, and that's it, yeah, that's all you need to do, and then kind of sweep it all away. And then they come out, they get out of the massage bed, and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, I feel so so relaxed. And you can tell,
Mhm.
because you start working in the muscle and you can feel all this, the stressed muscle is hard. When you touch it, it's hard, yeah. So let's say you've been working in front of a computer all day, and we often kind of pull the shoulders forward, kind of bring them up to the ears, and that causes the stress in the muscle, yeah, because the muscles flex, it's not the natural position. And then you lie down on the massage table. The first time I touch the muscle, I can tell, yeah, it's stressed, it's hard, it's not how it's supposed to be. But then you manipulate the muscle by touch, by pressure. By the end of the massage, people are like Play-Doh, they're just soft, and you can tell it worked. It worked because they soften. Like, you can physically tell the difference between the start of the massage and the end of it, and then they come out and they're like, oh my god. And you can tell all the stress, all the tension is just released. Yeah, there's nothing left of it. Yeah, obviously until the next time they do the same thing, because massage can only help as a one-off. Yeah, but then you have to kind of make good habits for yourself to then avoid the things that cause you that the stress or that pain or whatever it is that you need massage to help with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I found also that I did one little course of emotional reflexology, it was called, and it was on the palms. And in this reflexology, there was a thing where you press the muscle and then you blow the air out, like, like very hard. And I actually started practicing it when I was getting like Balinese massage or any other massage where I actually blow the air out. It's kind of like with intention, I blow this whole stress out and it's out of my body and I release it more. So do you also practice sometimes like breath work with the massage? Because I found that for me, I feel like it's releasing even more if I consciously breathe and I consciously release this tension from the muscles.
Yeah, so I don't often even tell the clients that I do this. Just have to notice the client's breathing pattern, and then when you put the pressure on the pressure point, so you kind of press um, the point where you feel the tension on the breath out, then you can really let the muscle relax, and then they breathe in again, and then on the breath out you press the muscles again, and you can do it on yourself actually. Like if you have tension, let's say in your neck. Find a spot where it hurts and then take a deep breath in, and on the breath out just press it, and then you can kind of let it all go, and then breathe again, and then press a little harder on the breath out, and then you do a few times, and then it should feel a lot better
Mm.
in a while. If you continue doing that for a couple of breath cycles, then it should feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Awesome. And I want to ask you also about massage specifically, because people go and get massages, but sometimes I feel like people can get hurt more than they can get healed, because I found that if pressure is too much, the muscles actually tense. And some people are like, oh, the massage has to hurt. But for me, it's like, it has to hurt, but it, be careful when you tense the muscles, because then it's gonna hurt you more after the massage than
Exactly.
before. So, do you have any advice to people about how to discover when it's too much?
So it often hurts when the muscle is tense. So at first, when you touch a tense muscle, when you put pressure on a tense muscle, it will hurt. But then in time, you should feel less and less of that pain. But if you touch a relaxed muscle and you put too much pressure on it, then it will tense and then it will hurt. So if it hurts at the start, but then kind of relaxes you, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to work. But then if you are relaxed and you feel your muscle tensing when the massage therapist is touching you, that's wrong. That's not how it's supposed to be. So if you get a massage like this, just tell your therapist to, ease out a little bit, go a bit lighter on the pressure. And I often find, again, I work intuitively, so I can kind of tell what kind of pressure my clients like. But then if I do too much or if I do not enough, they will tell me, yeah, because I asked them. That's the communication with the client. That's how a good massage is supposed to work. So if you kind of, you can tell if you touch a person and they kind of, twitch a little bit. I have that. I get a lot of pressure, a lot of tension in between my shoulder blades. And whenever I get a massage, and the first time the massage therapist goes, sometimes you like roll the thumbs along the spine like this. The first time they get to this point, I'm like, oh my God. But then they do it a second time and the third time. By the fourth time, I'm fine. Yeah, I can breathe normally. It doesn't hurt anymore. So that's what you want with a good massage. But then if they start touching you, and it feels it feels weird, it feels too much, you feel pain, and then you start tensing, then just tell your therapist to kind of go easy on you, because you don't want to stress during a massage. You want to come out of there and be relaxed. And not
Exactly, right?
exactly, yeah, so that's how it's supposed to work, not to be painful.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so do you find that, and I don't know the word in English, so I'm gonna say it in Polish, zakwasy, do you know how it is in
Mm-hmm.
English?
Yes, sore muscles. So after a workout, when your muscles are sore.
Oh,
Yeah.
just you just say sore muscles after workout.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know because in Polish we have a word for it, but
Yes.
in English we don't. But yeah, so if you have sore muscles after the massage, is it actually like, could it be good that some of your muscles were just worked, through, and it's actually a good sign, or is it always like a bad sign? Because I found that after my last massage, I still have tiny bit of tension in between my shoulder blades, but I know that I had a lot of tension there, and I felt that it's helping me, but I still have these sore muscles. So is it could it be a good sign after a massage, or is it always like not a very good sign if the pain is there?
So I would say it shouldn't be like this. So the sore muscles are caused by the lactic acid building up in the muscles, and that's when the muscle is overworked. Yeah. So for example, you work out. That's how the muscle is protecting itself, from being damaged. So it
Hmm.
releases the lactic acid, but then with a massage, with the increased blood flow, the lactic acid should get flushed away. Yeah, so you would still, I mean, it will have to spend, if you have a lot of sore muscles. So let's say you train a lot, um, you will have to spend a lot of time on that massage table to get rid of all of it. So sometimes, in an hour massage, it's not possible to release all of it. Yeah, to release all of the tension. Sometimes it's been built up so much that you will need 2, 3, 4 sessions to get rid of it all. Yeah. But after a massage, it should feel easier. It should feel more relaxed, not more tense, I would say.
Okay, so I probably overworked my shoulders then. If it's still painful, but yeah, I'm gonna come back and maybe do a more relaxed massage next time. And so, what kind
Yeah.
of massage do you do?
So I do different kinds. I do like the classic Swedish massage, which is, the whole body manipulation of the muscles, perfect for any pain, any tension, any stress. And it works on the whole body level. So it's like kind of head to toe. I like to start on the face and the chest and the head area, because then it kind of, I feel like the head massage is the most relaxing part of the massage. So I like to start with it and then finish with it as well. So I like to start with the head, do the feet, the legs, the belly, arms, literally every single muscle of your, the skeletal muscles of the body. And then I like to do the back of the legs, the back, and then finish with the head again. And I feel like it's just kind of the whole body experience. And it works, through all the chakras as well, through all the meridians, all of those channels. So that's your standard classic Swedish massage. I also do Indian head massage, which is a different kind of massage. It's performed when you are seating and kind of leaning forward on the couch, or leaning back. The therapist is behind you and you sit back. And again, it starts with the face, the head, the chest area. But then when you lean forward, it's again back, only the upper back in this case, around the shoulder blades, the neck, and then the back of the head. And this works not only for the relaxation, but again, the pressure points on your head, the meridians on your head that are then corresponding to the internal organs, because everything in the body is connected. You press one point and then something else starts working. So that's how it works. So this is more, and it also works on the upper chakras. Yeah, so your heart, your throat, the third eye, etc. So this is a very relaxing massage. I love it. I absolutely love it myself. So this is, and it's a shorter massage. So if you don't have time to go for a full body, or maybe you'd be weird about people touching your feet and things like that, Indian head massage is extremely relaxing. I really recommend it. Then I also do aromatherapy massage, which is, again, this is a lighter massage, so it's not as deep as the Swedish, because with Swedish you can choose different levels of pressure. Yeah, so you can make it really gentle and relaxing, or you can go a little bit deeper to release that muscle tension. But with aromatherapy, it's more working on the superficial level, because that also is very relaxing. So all the nerve endings in the skin. This is what we work on with the aromatherapy massage. But also we use the lovely smelling oils, and the herbal oils have different purposes, and different mix of oils can do different things. So I'm not qualified to mix the oils myself, but I buy the ready made mixes, which have different names for the specific purpose that they do. So one is called muscles, for example, yeah, when you have problems with your muscles, when you are tense. One is called relaxation, so it tells you, yeah, when you put this oil on your body, you will feel more relaxed. Yeah, it has calming oils, the calming mix of oils. One is called sensuality, yeah. So when you want to maybe feel a bit more feminine, yeah. And again, it works because they enter the bloodstream through your skin. They can work from the inside as well on your organs, on the they have this a whole list of oils that I'm not qualified to talk about that, but but you can research all the essential oils and their purposes and how to mix them to make them safe, because again, you have to be careful with essential oils. There is a lot of rules that again, for your health. Yeah, you don't want to harm yourself, so you make sure if you use essential oils, you know exactly how to use them and how to mix them and what they are for. And then I also do hot stones massage, which is just amazing because it adds the heat, so we create the heat when we do the massage anyway, but that just brings the extra extra bit of heat, and also a bit more pressure from the stones, because you can only go as far with the palm of your hand, but then the stones are just it's extremely relaxing. I really recommend it.
And what is it good for, the hot stones massage? I haven't tried this one.
Oh, you should. It's amazing. So again, it's deeply relaxing. So I would say this is more like a spa treatment, when you want to treat yourself. Again, you can work on, different pressure levels if you have any pains or any tension, but the heat will help release it even more. So as you would work with I don't know, hot water bottle, for example, if you have a tummy ache. Yeah, that's the same purpose. Yeah, the heat will help the muscles relax even more than the normal massage.
Cool, cool. I should try it to treat
Mm-hmm.
myself for sure and to be
Definitely,
more in my
definitely.
relaxed feminine vibes. I feel like I really need
Definitely.
it. And now, in the times of having a lot of stuff going on with the business and everything, it's a good way to come back to myself and to my feminine relaxation and so on.
Oh yes.
And,
Oh
and
yes.
so I'm curious, actually, what do you do when you want to come back to your feminine more?
Oh, so standard yoga, meditation.
Standard.
Go for a massage, go.
Boring. Just
But
kidding.
no, I like to dance actually. So I'm home alone. I play some music and I just dance like a crazy person.
Me too. Me too. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. I even was on Zumba today and I found that dancing is so awakening, not only to your femininity, but also to your inner child in a way, because
It
it's like
is, yes.
combining both your sensuality and your inner child expression, right? So,
It
yeah,
is.
it's so good. It's so good. Yeah. I had one podcast with Sarah, with a friend of mine, and she said that she started her morning routine with 5 minutes of dancing in the morning, and then it turned to be like a 2 hour ritual, morning ritual.
Hmm.
But we were talking about how just dancing to one music in the morning can shift your perspective and shift your energy completely, and it's just so empowering. And I feel like people should do it more often because it's so available, and people should have more music and more dancing in their life. And so I'm so glad that you mentioned it, because I really want to encourage anyone who listens to dance more, to freaking dance
Definitely.
more, because it
Definitely.
doesn't matter how.
Even when you're cooking, put on some music and just kind of start vibing, and it's it's just so good.
Exactly.
I think I said it the other day. Like, I think every kid in the world should be taking dance classes, not to learn how to dance, but just to have that, a little bit of fun, and be able to express themselves, through this physical level, but then releasing all the emotions, and because it's just so fun.
Yeah, and it's also healing as similar to yoga because you're stretching all these different parts of your body. You're opening up, you're moving. So this energy is actually getting out of your body, the stuck energy. And also shaking, I found, is good for that.
It
Sometimes
is, yes.
people do like shamanic drums or something, and they like shake their body. So it's very similar. You're just opening up all these channels, and you can really work on yourself in this way. I remember I met my ex-partner at this party. It was called Emotional Release Party, where we were
Mhm.
first. There was it was like Osho's method. If someone knows Osho, it's like focus meditation. I think that there was like jumping, shaking, dancing, and then meditation again. And it was so powerful because the music was just there. And then the guide was saying, just let the music shake you. Don't try to shake. Don't try to do anything. Just let your body and the music take you wherever it needs to take you. And literally, your body, after some time, starts doing all these crazy moves and you can
Mhm.
make sounds and everything. And it's just so healing, so therapeutic to do. So for anyone who is not ashamed of moving their body and shaking, I highly recommend this as well, because it can be really freeing to open up even your throat, your self-expression, your true self, because sometimes we can really feel like we need to scream or we need to, make a sound that would be maybe socially unacceptable or whatever.
Yes,
But
yes.
then when we do it, we actually free ourselves and open our throat, our self-expression, and we can feel way better in our lives. So I'm just such a big promoter of it because I've tried it and it worked for me perfectly. And
Definitely.
have you tried it as well?
I have, yeah, actually, the shaking, I went to a yoga retreat a few years ago, and it was based around Kundalini yoga and also the Osho methods. So it was great. Like you start, you always have this judgment at first. It's like, oh my God, this is so crazy. Like, why am I doing this? But then actually, when you lose all that, when you start getting into it, you just kind of forget about everything else, and you just kind of, be in you being in your body, and it just feels amazing. And also, I've tried ecstatic dance, which is similar principle. The music plays and everyone's just,
Yeah, just going with
people
the
look like
flow.
they're on drugs, and but no, it's actually you're supposed to do it sober. That's how you really feel what's going on again in your body, in your mind, in your emotions, and all of that. So I
Yeah,
do recommend it.
I
Yeah.
remember when I took my mom for ecstatic dance in Australia the first time, and she was like, "How people are just like meeting and dancing like in the middle of the day, like without alcohol, without any party, and they're just like
Yeah.
dancing there." And it's like, "What the hell? What the hell is going on?" But then she obviously liked it, but she had to open up more to to check it out. But then she was loving it. But it's actually a funny thing because ecstatic dance, it's such a simple thing for people who don't drink alcohol, and I don't, for example. For the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years I haven't touched alcohol, so obviously it's hard for me to be at the party with all the people who are drunk and to feel good there because they are in a completely different state of consciousness than me. So ecstatic dance is actually a perfect way to do this. So for anyone who has never heard of ecstatic dance, go and check it out if you love dancing, because this is a way to really meet amazing people and dance with them. And sometimes there are even guided ecstatic dance, so maybe 5 rhythms, or maybe some like how do you say, some mm, like when we touch other people, but in not in like sensual way, but more like when you dance with someone and you can have different exercises, and it's actually amazing. So I highly recommend it to anyone who loves these kind of things. Awesome. So we are coming to the end of the podcast, but I have one little question, last question to you. What is the most important message that you have to all our listeners that has shifted your perspective? Like one thing that has shifted your perspective completely on your, in your spiritual journey, one perspective that could shift other people's perspectives as well that you'd like to share.
Okay. Oh, hard question. So I would say, for me, it was when I realized that I don't have to do things. I can just do things that I want to do, and
Oh
it will
my
be fine.
god.
Uh,
So spot on. So spot on. Oh my god.
but I don't have to meet anyone else's expectations. I don't have to meet my own expectations from the past. I can just change at any time, and it will be fine. Like everything will work out. So just go do whatever you want. So that's my message.
Oh my god, I love that, because I seriously, this is what I need right now to take this perspective in and to actually feel it in my, because one thing is to know it intellectually, but one thing is actually feeling it. And I feel like I needed to hear this, and I hope that our listeners needed to hear this today as
Oh.
well, because it's a beautiful message. Thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you for being on our podcast today. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and
Oh,
yeah,
thank you for having me.
it was great. It was a great conversation. So thank you so much, and namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I freaking loved this chat with Paula, and I got so much out of it. I hope that you got a lot out of it too. So, thank you, beautiful souls, for being with us, listening to us, and I hope to have you there with us next time.